I think that a really important role that archaeologists can play that maybe would be a way to ally with tribes, like a voice that they bring that I think the general public might listen to more than it coming from Native communities. A major aspect would be around the idea of looting. I think sometimes people are in the general public are sensitive to saying no, that they were finding projectile points or whatever other artifacts or burial mounds. A lot of times people will have on their property or something, and think that it's theirs for the taking, that they could dig into it and it's now theirs. And tribes can say that over and over, that we don't want our sites disturbed. But I think that an archaeologist explaining their perspective on that and backing up that perspective of that these sites are culturally significant and that they shouldn't be looted and disturbed, that I think that's a really important role that an archaeologist could bring to the general public. And another role that maybe an archaeologist could play that would be helpful to the public is explaining the significance of, just because I think there's a tendency in the general public to discount sites that are all around them, that are Native American, and just see them as somehow less important or something, but everyone's interested in the pyramids in Egypt or, something else that seems exotic somewhere else in the world, and that those sites are really, what's valuable and something that, as Native American, maybe just because it's take it for granted or something, and also that maybe they're not something like the pyramids where they're these visible constructions, it might be the soil might be stained where you can see the evidence of a wigwam, like our style of housing, that I think those are sort of not valued by the general public as much. Whereas I would like to see archaeologists be part of shifting perspective to say that these are incredibly significant places, and actually all around where you might live in upstate New York or, this area, that you're on sites that are just as significant as these places around the world, and that there's actually nowhere else in the world you can go to find them. If you find Dutch architecture or something here, that you could go to the Netherlands and study that. But here, like this style of how, homemaking, the fishing and hunting technique, all that you can see in the sites that are all around you here, that this is the only place that you can find that, for, in our case, Mohican or, other Northeast woodland peoples. And I would like people to have more appreciation and awareness of those sites and realize that they can be part of preserving and protecting them, and not just see it as, it's just a part of nature and, something to take that, you want, or dig it up and, it doesn't matter because it's not as valuable as something far away. I think it's just like there's a kind of a bias there, and I would like to see people shift that back to realize how significant these sites are.